are you guys doing today on this lovely Sunday afternoon? It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, throwing rocks and hiding his hands to deep. Trying to see if I'm actually live on here, because it asked me if I wanted to just record it or go live. So we'll wait a second or two to see if somebody pops up.
I will verify that.
Okay, and there's one person on, so yes, I'm live. I'm live. All right, and so the purpose of this show is to discuss things in the black community that promotes love, knowledge, understanding, and just everything in order to make us a better people. And so, as always, thank you to Donovan for putting this all together, YouTube, podcast, being here, helping me co-host on Facebook, and to you all in Facebook land, the audience who gives me all the questions and the occasional podcast question. I do appreciate that. Without you guys, we could not have a successful dialogue here. And so, once again, thank you for that. And so,
let me cut you off right there. If you hear Demetra's voice cracking, she is under a little sick.
I sound like I got like a frog or something in my throat. So yeah, it's going, it's coming, it's going. So my voice will come and go. I'm starting to sweat too now. So anyway, it's probably good for me. So let's get started, shall we? Hey Tay, hey Gina, what's happening? All right, so I originally was going to take this discussion somewhere else, but then when I got to doing some research, I was like, oh, okay, I got to change courses, because, well, I'll get into it so you guys can have a little bit of background here, so bear with me. Now, so we learned about a week ago that we lost the legend, the Queen of Soul. Everybody knows that, right? I hope so, all right? Due to pancreatic cancer. She was 76 years old and left behind 4 sons to mourn her death. But most shockingly, we also learned that she died intestate, or she did not leave a will. So she basically died without a will or any type of final. You know that?
No,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I haven't
really
followed her.
Okay. She died without a will.
Wow.
Or any final instructions.
Wow.
I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't.
Okay. To her, assumed $80 million estate. Now, per Detroit, Michigan law, her estate will go to her 4 sons, who are her next of kin. Now, one of her sons is deemed to be special needs, so he'll have a conservator or somebody to handle his part of the funds, whatever those funds may be. All right, now, Aretha's lawyer of over 30 years, her entertainment lawyer, said that he had begged her for years to set her final instructions in order, but she just never got around to it, and that's what he was saying. And so, Aretha's sons have agreed to allow her niece, Sabrina Owens, to act as her administrator over her estate. They just did it, because we know that when people die, especially without a will, and they have that, a person could die with 2 peanuts, and the whole family, they're going to fight over those 2 peanuts. And so, to make the process easier, the 3 sons that could speak for themselves, and it sounds like whoever the conservator of the son with special needs said, you know what, let's appoint the niece to delegate and just do everything. Yes, because we know if that gets they fight, it gets tied up in probate court and all of that.
A lot of people don't realize that when you have a loved one that is like terminally ill or they're going through that, and the end is going to come.
Right. And
a lot of us don't know this. You need to secure that house and everything because you got Aunt Celeste that'll come in there and take the photo album or pictures.
Right.
I mean, I'm not joking.
No, and listen, I've seen it happen.
Yeah, right.
I've seen my grandmother's a good example. She passed, and there's people are coming in and out and stuff. And my grandfather's still alive, and people are coming and just pillaging, and we're like, wait, hold on, stop. So you're absolutely right. Now, when we hear about the word estate, we really just think about money. But there's so much more to an estate than just money. In Aretha's case, she amassed royalties, movies, books, a music catalog, her image, posthumous, humanist, however you say it, wealth, and many other potential streams of income that is attached to the late singer. Now, one also has to take into account the taxes that will come from all of that stuff. and the potential debt, because they said that it's rumored that she was also in some debt. So they'll have to put all those things
together and
just try to figure out, okay, what's going on here.
It's so sad in our community that our athletes, our entertainers,
and I'll get to you guys' comments.
They're always in debt. After you've seen so many examples of James Brown. I mean, all these, you just go down the list. But I got a listener listening in. This is my good friend I was stationed in Alaska with. Her name is Mia Leidner.
Hey, Mia.
And she is going to Cal Poly Pomona to get her degree over there in biology, working on her master's.
Ooh.
So give her a shout out.
Good luck in the master's program. You will do just fine.
Yes.
And so, now, lastly, because she did not have a final wishes for her estate, her niece Sabrina has to basically speak for the dead. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, just because Aretha's sons were her next of kin, that doesn't mean that Aretha wanted them to be the beneficiary to all of her stuff. Maybe she wanted to give her money to her church, or maybe to somebody else. But because she didn't leave that in writing, her niece is now tasked with the job, or same thing, we're trying to figure out what her aunt would have wanted. Okay, so her aunt maybe wanted this son to have $10,000 and that son to have $1 million. So she has to do that, and it's a very, very, very big job that more than likely is going to take a long time to
and
figure it out.
some people are not going to be happy.
Right, but for whatever reason they trusted her niece to do it, and so all of this honestly could have been avoided if Aretha would have just left a will, a living trust, something that would have given instructions to, for her final wishes. But we know, as we said, she didn't do that. And so, this week we're going to be discussing the importance of having our final wishes in order for our loved ones, among all kind of stuff in regards to money in the Black community. But as I was doing some research, because like I said, I was going to take this in another direction, in regards to Black people and the lack of life insurance and stuff like this. But as I was researching, I was like, oh, there's something different going on. And here I go. So, do you know that contrary to popular belief, Black folks are 2 points more likely to be insured than the general population? So, that is to the tune of 60% versus the regular population of insured people in America. Also, most insurance propaganda tells us that Black people are underinsured, or we don't have as much insurance as everybody else, and that is also a lie. Now, but when you look at married, cohabiting, and single households, it shows Black people are holding the most insurance, because when they do these tests and stuff, and I promise you guys, I'm gonna get to your comments, when they do these tests and these samples and these surveys and stuff, they only weigh the married households. And so, what's the problem with married households in the Black community?
We don't have
a lot of married households. And so when you look at just the married households, of course, Black people look underinsured or uninsured. But like I said, we have to account for single parent households and just all the other things that are in the gray areas that as we would like to describe it. And so it comes out that Black people are actually more insured than the general population. And to be honest with you, I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't one of the ones that were saying, well, Black people, we don't have insurance and we're underinsured.
No, that's not true. You can get renter's insurance for $14, since a lot of us live in apartments and things like that.
Right.
And most single moms,
True.
have renter's insurance.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point. And it also says, let's see here, because I took quite a bit of notes. I'm almost done. But to your point, it says Black folks are more than likely to participate in employee-provided insurance than any other group. So, like you said, with the renter's insurance and stuff, I don't know the data on that, but if it's for a couple bucks or free, then yeah, why not, right? Yeah. Now it says in 2016, 75% of Black people purchased life insurance. Okay? However, Black folks pay higher insurance rates due to health and lifestyle, due to lack of wealth. So we know that when there's lack of wealth, there's stress and
you're eating poorly,
eating diet, right? So on the morbidity table or the morbidity rate, I guess that's how they determine I guess like classifications of gender and race and stuff. And so we know traditionally black people, and that's a fact, we have really bad eating habits, and so more than likely we're gonna die before a lot of other people on the planet. Okay. Now, it also said that black folks are more open to buying life insurance now more than we have been in the past, okay? Now, I feel like it's important to spread knowledge and not lies. And let me just give you guys a little bit more statistics and I'm almost done. Now, white household average net worth is about $190,000 a year. Or,
I saw that statistic.
Black household average net worth is $19,000.
Less than $20,000. Yeah, I saw that.
So 10%. We're 10% of white average white wealth.
Right.
Only 10%.
For every $100 that they have, we have $9.
So then, and you listen, guys, I'm not a mathematician at all, so don't hold me to numbers. But so then you say, well, how is it that black people are only 10% of white wealth? But we have $1.3 trillion in the African American community that comes in every year. How is that possible? Enough to make up what they say the 9th or the 11th largest country.
Yeah, we're in the top 15
in the world. So how is that? So when people send me messages while I'm on, it kind of jacks me up a little bit. So I hope you guys can see me. Hate when people do that. You see I'm on here live. You just won't let me be great.
No, and what feels about it, they know you're there at 3 to send you messages.
So I apologize for the glitches there, you guys. And so, all right, so how is it that we only have 10% of white wealth, but we have $1.3 trillion coming in out of the black community every year? Well, we know that's how. Well, how is because we don't practice group economics. So we can be here all day with that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, I just handpicked a gender, a black male. So no shade to black men, but black males average life expectancy. They said it's about 77 years or so, like 6 years less than white women. That's the statistic that I saw. Now it says 12% of black males die around the age of 60, roughly 10 years after the age of 50. They say a lot of black men die not too long after they retire or they stop working for whatever reason. And so what else do I have? Because I was like, I learned a lot of stuff. And so, thank you. Yes, I'm starting to bust a sweat, y'all. So you guys can research this stuff if you want. I got these off the internet from LIMRA Study, Public Health Pulse, and the United States Census. So the question that I have for you guys is this. What myths or misconceptions have you guys heard in regards to black people and black money? And I'm going to get to you guys' comments. So Donovan, if you want to think of one as I read these comments. Let's see.
Oh no, the only thing I got to think about is our numbers were great last week for the show. And for those of you guys that saw Cop with White Sox swings on, that was a great show as well. We're on YouTube. Please check us out. Look up Demetra K on YouTube and you'll see the video up there.
Awesome. So Tay says, hey, and Gina says, hey, girlfriend, what's happening? And Tay also say, I don't know who her lawyer was. Dying without a will is irresponsible. Yeah, the lawyer he said he tried to tell her for many years, you need to get it together, but for whatever reason, she kept putting it off.
See, and then a good thing in the military that they started, it's a mandatory, you've got to have a will. Mandatory.
Oh, well, yeah, well, she should have been in the military then.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you're a young person, you first join, and that's indoctrinated into you, you're most likely going to carry that on into your civilian life as well.
And then Tay also say, I never got around to it. She had 70 plus years to get her affairs in order. She was irresponsible. Yeah.
Well, she comes from that generation of.
Or then, just to play devil's advocate here, which is not right. But maybe she thought, well, we live in Detroit. If I die, they'll split my stuff 4 ways, but then you forget about the other relatives and people. Well,
right.
Riri said I can have the Fabergé egg on her her piano.
Or that cousin that married her real cousin that's not part of the family wants a cut of that empire.
Or, because the kids had different, and the kids, but the kids are in their 60s, but they all had different fathers, and so I don't know if the fathers are alive, but they can also get in the mix, so it's just
grandbabies.
It's just a bunch. And then Alex says, I'm taking the girls home and I'm listening, and yes, I have insurance on my truck. What about your life, brother? And Kay says, being a celebrity, she needed to manage her brand and make sure it was going to be taken care of after her death. I pray that her family doesn't ruin what she spent her whole life to create.
In Aretha's defense, if you look at her autobiography, she was married in the I think late 60s, early 70s to a man that was really abusive to her and stuff. And from what I understand, he was really controlling her finances.
Oh yeah.
He didn't read the Book of Ike correctly, but that
I don't think it was written there.
But that could be a problem in why her finances were.
But y'all gotta remember too. Aretha Franklin, R.I.P., she got out there very early in life. I mean, she had her first child when she was 13, pregnant when she was 12, had her second one when she was 15.
And her father was very prominent.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so, hey, Richard, and then you say, why didn't her attorney draw up something and have her sign it? Her excuse is lame. No, absolutely. I mean, he said, it sounds like he vehemently tried to get her to do something. Hey, Holland.
I think that's the same thing as people who are afraid to fly on airplanes. She was just stuck in a,
Maybe she didn't think she was going to go nowhere anytime soon. Like, I got time to do that. Mm-hmm. And Al said, without a will, like he meant to say, we all love her family. Maybe Aretha wasn't thinking what she was trying to do to them. You know what?
Well, I mean, recently Prince did the same thing.
Right.
$175 million estate that is now.
And they're still fighting over what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Right. And Tay says, I have life insurance and insurance on my children since birth. I have a will set up and advance directive in place. I have learned from my grandparents and parents on how to set my children up for success, not debt and confusion. And that's
right. And I want a piece of that money so when we get married, get that insurance.
But that's exactly what it is, a lot of people, because I used to sell life insurance, and I want to say that to you guys right now. I always like to make this disclaimer. I do not have the ability to sell life insurance, so I'm personally not trying to sell you life insurance. But I sold life insurance for many years, and I worked in the financial services field, and so I saw it all and I heard it all. Mm-hmm. And I would hear people say stuff like, well, I don't want to leave them rich. I ain't talking about you. Or, I'm not going to be here, so why do I care?
Yeah, why would I care?
But today's latter point is, you should care because you're going to leave debt and confusion amongst the people who are still left here. And so that's, if you don't care about nothing else, you should care about that.
Well, and if you don't want to leave nothing to your children like I don't, leave it to your dog or something. That way, whoever controls the dog will control the money. You know what I mean? I mean, the money's going to go somewhere.
Let me control the dog.
There you go, get the dog. But but my point is, the money's going to go somewhere. So
right. Right. Okay. And Holland, you say my kids. Let me make sure I didn't miss it. You say my kids are grown. I'm not married, so I get. So should I get insurance?
Yes.
Say I'm on my own. Absolutely,
yes.
You should get insurance because insurance. Well, it has a beneficiary, and so you know where it's going. Mm-hmm. And also, you don't leave debt and headache and confusion for the people who will have to bury you because, it'd be nice if, I joke with my daughter, throw my ass off the side of a mountain and take the money and run. Right. But we know legally you can't do that. You got to do something with your loved one's body, or leave it in the morgue, and then they'll cremate it, and then
you'll go into a record book, and there's no headstone, no.
Right, who wants mom cremated by the city morgue because you couldn't take care of her however you want to do that. And so yes, Holland, you should get life insurance, but listen to this. Life insurance is not just about burying you, it's also about leaving a legacy, because that's what the wealthy do.
Yes, they are not only money.
Right, they not only leave a legacy, but they also know that it's a good way to build wealth. It's a good tax shelters and all that type of stuff. And so, yes, you should have life insurance. Saving on your own, saving versus life insurance. So let's say you go put $10,000 or whatever into a savings account. They're going to pay you less than 2% to save, And so you've given the bank $10,000 to reinvest with other people. They give me a $10,000 loan at, I don't know, whatever, 10%.
Right.
So the bank is making money off of your money when you could put it into a life insurance vehicle that would allow you to build cash value and invest it in some respects of the stock market. And so yes, you should have life insurance. Hey Dean, what's happening?
Yeah, because I'm in the same position as he is. My kids are grown. I'm by myself. You should have life insurance to bury yourself, number one, and to, like you said, leave a legacy.
Yeah, right. You know, because us in the black community, and let me get to your point, Dean says, but we spend more than them on top of it. Yes, and that's where I was getting to with the $1.3 trillion that we have.
How come we don't have the wealth?
We give it away. We only keep about 3% of that. So we're giving away 97% of our $1.3 trillion, which is how we only, on average, as black people, have 10% of what white households have at 190,000 versus 19,000. So we've got to change that. And Ted, you also say, but back to my point is that we in the black community got to get it out of our heads that, well, you know, I struggled, and so my kids got to struggle. They need to earn it like I did. Now, I agree with kids having to earn stuff, but I totally disagree with us making our children struggle and suffer, because nobody else does that to their children. They make sure their children have the tools that they need to be successful.
And that's why their kids go into movie theaters and shoot
but
the place
not
up.
But let's talk about Asians and Arabs and all these other people. They don't say, well, go kick rocks and struggle, Junior. They say, no, I have this business. I want you to learn the business. Yes, I'm going to give you more than I have, because more than likely those people came over here from a third world country and had nothing. So yes, they don't want their children to have nothing too, but they also teach them how to keep the money going and flowing. And so Tay, you say we are putting our money into the things that matter. We aren't saving for long. Well, you said we aren't putting money into the things that matter. We aren't saving for long term. We're just investing in ourselves and our children. You don't have to make $100,000 a year to invest in yourself. Absolutely. Let's stop buying Jordans.
I'm an example of that.
Okay, and you know, the stuff like you said that don't matter, weaves and all that. We need to stop doing that, because at the end of the day, Jordans get old and we have to buy new ones, and weaves, you know, they get whatever they do. So hey, Asada, Asada says, hey, brother, the Mellow Holland. And then Holland says, Asada, what's up, sis? So obviously they're good friends.
Yes.
And Al says, I've heard some black. Should I get my money back?
The whole point is long-term investment.
I would just like to say this. Do you want something to happen to you? Do you want to get a bang for your buck? You know, but that's why they have various life insurance policies, because insurance companies understand that. I mean, let's be honest.
They're playing the odds.
Yeah, but life insurance make money if you live, not die, which is why they make sure that you're insurable and you're healthy. Right. But they also understand that there's people who think like you, in that, well, I don't want to be spending all this money and nothing to happen to me. And so in the meantime, they have a lot of insurance policies that will allow you to build cash value. So let's say if you insure your child, as Tay did, when they're a baby, by the time they're 18, you might have enough money saved up in that insurance policy to where you can pay for their college education, depending on how much money you put in, buy them a house, buy them a car. So it has living benefits, and it's not just, oh, if you die, you die.
Well, I got a question for you in regards to insurance. Okay, you got all these Negroes out here and people of color talking about, oh, I gotta get Obama insurance and the ACA, I want that, it's good. You know, if you know that that's good for you in health, and so you can go to the doctor and, you know, get fixed up and stuff like that, why wouldn't you think that after your death having insurance would be good for your family?
Well, I think because a lot of us are not just black people, because I sat down with a whole bunch of people who had the ideology of, well, shoot, I'm going to be dead, why would I care?
Right, but I'm just saying, if they know that Obamacare is good for them to have, and they have no problem giving their $13 a month or whatever they're paying, why would they have a problem?
Because life insurance, a lot of people in their head think, I'm not going to benefit from that. But if you just sit down with the right person, they will tell you you invest in the right thing. You can use the benefits, some of the benefits, while you're still alive.
Right.
And then Al says, oops. You said, I'm glad you two were talking about insurance and no one else this week. Oh, God. Like who? And then you said term or life, Holland. So you're saying, I think what you're asking me is term insurance or whole life insurance. Well, and I'll just be brief with the explanation of that. Term insurance is for a term. So if you get the term insurance for 10 years, it expires after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, however long you get it. And so after the 10 years of that life insurance policy is up, you will have to get more insurance. But in 10 years, you're older, maybe you have some health problems.
You might have gone through some surgery.
Right, and so your insurance premium goes up at that point. And listen, I never knock term insurance because at least you're insured. Right. At least you have something. Term life is cheaper than the other policies. Now there's whole life, which is what it says. It's for your whole life or until the time you turn 100 years old, in which it will expire in a way, but you'll have those cash benefits. The other one is universal life policies, in which it'll allow you to invest in the stock market with the difference. So it's like you have, just for terminology's sake, so let's say you have a term policy or have the life insurance policy rather, and then you have the cash value, that the money that you pay over the cost of the insurance. So the cost of the insurance is what you need to keep the insurance alive. So let's say in order to keep the insurance alive, you need $10 in that policy, but you say, you know what, I want to invest an additional $20. So that additional $20 will go to the stock market or whatever investment vehicle you choose. Right. But you still have that the $10 that's keeping the policy alive. And so you have to decide, do I just want term to take care of my final wishes, or do I want some universal life policy or whole life policy that will give me some cash value while I'm still alive? And Tay says, thank you, we need to stop the struggle mentality. No, absolutely. And you also say, stop buying Jordans and start buying shares. Yes. Hey, Gay. He says, thank you for educating our people on the importance of life insurance and investments. And Gay Nisha, I know, does sell life insurance. So you guys want to, talk to Gay Nisha, hit her inbox. She can help you decide what's best for you.
Wait, what's the name?
Gay Nisha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I know Gay is short. For Gay for short.
I was going to say Ganesha.
And then used to know what's happening. He says, I'm sorry to say, every black family I know that left their kids businesses and money less than a year, them niggas broke, ran the business to the ground, and then blame everyone else because they are homeless. Now, I do know for a fact that what you just said is a sore point with my homie here.
Yes.
Because he talks about that a lot in that. Like you said, grandma goes and a year. I think you two have been talking because that sounded almost exactly like what Donovan says. So do you want to expound upon that?
Well, it's actually true. Like you have all these big families in the South, right? Mm-hmm. And if you go to the sheriff's records or the tax assessor down in the South, you see all these properties that have been in the family for generations. Mm-hmm. The grandma dies, it goes to the grandkids or the son or whatever it goes. And these younger black people are losing the property because they're not paying the property tax because nobody told them.
They don't know.
Right. And the master, the man is coming in and getting it on pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar. We personally know somebody who went through that.
Yes. And it's very sad because as soon as you get a windfall, what happens in our community? Oh, my light's about to be cut off. Can you help me? And and by nature we're good-spirited people, but that is happening so much down to where we are losing. I mean, the land that you have is like it's not there anymore.
Right. Absolutely. And then Al says, wait, did I miss one? Sorry. Holland, you say, Dimitri, if I have life insurance through the job, should I get life insurance outside of the job? Absolutely.
Yeah, because you could get fired.
Yes. You could lose that job, and in most cases, the insurance don't follow you. They don't say, well, we canned you, or you've gotten laid off, and here, they might give you insurance maybe a year or something, but it doesn't stay. And so, yes, it's good to have insurance on your own because that'll never expire unless you stop paying the premium. So, yes, absolutely. We know that the insurance on the job is usually a term insurance or for the term that you're there. Employers get a huge group discount, which is why they offer it to you because they get it for pennies on the dollar when they offer it to the employees.
And here's something I put on to cut you off. Walmart is making a killing on insuring their employees in their corporation. That's where they're getting a lot of their wealth as well.
Well, you talking about their employees that work there, or
the employees' families and all that. They're insuring them, and
they can only make a killing off of the insuring the family unless they're getting a kickback from that. So if they're
no, I don't think they're getting a kickback. There was a thing on 2020 where they were showing how this guy who's a manager at Walmart, and his wife was really sick, and you know they kind of see whatever, and the guy goes gets insurance, or he got insurance. And they look at their employees, and what it is, Walmart says, well, we want that guy, he's a smoker, we're going to put insurance on him.
Okay, so got it, because when you say that, I'm also thinking about key people or key person insurance, where if, let's say you had a company or partners, if I die, you insure me to cover the loss of me being gone, because more than likely, if Al, he's going to be my widow, and so he might come after you, and so you'll have money to keep the business going, or say, this is here's your portion. Now I still have the money is still there as if she was still here.
And that's what Walmart does. So even if you're a cashier and you're a smoker, and they see that you're a smoker, they are hedging bets that because of your emphysema or whatever, then you're going to die within a certain amount of time, and they're insuring their employees based on that.
And then okay, so I hope that answers the question, Holland. Allison, having insurance to some black people is equivalent to some people not having a bank account and wanting to see their paycheck in their hand. Some people are just old school, and you're absolutely right. We have some people who think like that. Well, I need to pick my check up. I need to see what my paycheck is looking like. Well, it's like they'll give you your pay stub. They'll give you your pay stub. Why would you want to go up to the job every week or every 2 weeks to get your paycheck instead of just having right? And so I used to know. You say because Donovan knows niggas.
Well, hey, we come in all shapes, forms, and sizes.
Hold on a second. I gotta do some house cleaning here.
There you go.
And so I've learned that I have that ability to do that now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And then so I mean, we've got to. Well, for one, another point that I wanted to make too is in us believing narratives that aren't true about us, and that as far as us not having life insurance is one of them. We do have life insurance. We just misappropriate our funds because, like I said, a lot of it didn't make any sense to me, but it does because I kind of thought about it a little bit further. We have 10% of what white people have, as well. But we have $1.3 trillion in our community, but we're broke. But we like life insurance. For whatever reason, we do have life insurance. And the article and the research that I was reading, it says, because a lot of single moms, or single parents in the black community, they do realize I need some life insurance. Something happens to my child or whatever the case is. I want to be able to be taken care of.
Or would it be more so they're in a position at that time to afford life insurance? And they're being
it is very much so about affordability.
Right.
Because a lot of people, and not just black people, but a lot of people are like, well, I can't afford life insurance. That's a bill. Or I could be doing something else with it. But as I said, when I was a life insurance agent, I would sit in the houses of people who would tell me, let's say I'm here with Donovan, and he tells me, well, I know I need life insurance, but I can't afford life insurance. And as he's telling me that, I'm like, okay, this fool got a 75-inch television on his wall, like for real he does. And then he's got a 50-something inch television in that, I can see that TV and this TV at the same time. He's got all the bells and whistles to everything you can think of this dude has.
I'm a chain smoker.
Well, you're a chain smoker, but you can't afford life insurance. And so in my head, I'm saying, well, sure you can. Maybe if you cut off some of your cable boxes or cut down the smoking, which is not good for you anyway.
Or the animal treats.
All of that, but my brother's also in financial services, and he says that when he sits down with people who have pets, and he said, well, why don't you cut back on the pet expenditures? Oh, hell no. Fido's going to the groomer every week.
Right.
Some people, animal has their own credit cards.
In case emergencies.
And the high-end estate treats and all this other stuff. They would rather cut off their left pinky than to cut back on their animals, you know, because it's like those are my children.
Right.
How dare you?
Right.
I would rather die with no insurance than to have my animals go without.
Well, in my defense, I am able to afford the animal stuff.
Yeah, but you're an anomaly in some of those cases. You haven't gotten everything you have because you're stupid and you don't understand wealth. And I'm not saying that about anybody else who don't have life insurance, but it just comes. There's a lack of education, and as I said, I would sit down with people who don't want to be educated. They don't want to be educated about it, because for me to come in your house and tell you, well, maybe you should cut off the cable.
It's football season.
Well, you know, football season is nice, but what if you die? You know, or your children are uninsured. And another thing that people need to realize, because I know you say this a lot, which makes a lot of sense, but a lot of people just don't know this either, is that you say stuff like, well, if you know you live in a hood or you live in a dangerous area, why not get your child or your son or whoever, Ray and Pookie, as you would say, insured? But if Ray and Pookie are committing a crime, that insurance, or a felony, they die in a case of a felony, that insurance policy does not pay.
Right, it's void.
Because they tell you those things. And so, Tate says, I won't lie, I have insurance on my animals too. Well, there's nothing wrong with you having insurance on your animals, because you have insurance on yourself and your children too. But there's people who it's the total opposite. I just can imagine, and listen, I don't have pets, but you just listening to Donovan sometimes talk about having to take his animals to the vet. It sounds like, you know, sometimes it was $600 visit, and I'm like, ooh. Really? I know I don't have pets now. You know, but you guys are responsible, because a lot of people, and me and Donovan talk about this too, they feel like, well, I can have a dog.
Right, there's a lot that comes with the
I don't need no insurance on the dog. Shit, something happened to it, I just give it some of this over-the-counter stuff. Or some Robitussin, right? Or some hot water.
Yeah, because in my dog's defense, you know, dogs have allergies. They have stuff that is just unbelievable. And as my dog gets older, she's going to have a hip problem, which is going to cost me thousands of dollars.
But so that makes sense to have pet insurance. It just makes sense, right?
$60 a month.
Right. And so you said, maybe I should put my dog Ace down as my beneficiary. Well, you know,
some people do that.
Yes, as a matter of fact, what was his name? Baron Hilton. Yeah. The owner or the creator of Hilton, the Hilton Hotels, Paris Hilton's grandfather.
Sure did.
Conrad Hilton is his name. He did that. When he died, he left a great amount of his, I can't remember, it was hundreds of millions of dollars of his estate to the Humane Society. And his heirs was like, I don't think so. Right. And they successfully challenged that, which is why and how the Hiltons have money now. But he was like, I don't know why. Screw you, but I'm leaving my money to the Humane Society.
Remember that one heir? She was a hotel heiress as well. She was known as the Queen of Mean.
Imelda.
Whatever her name was. And she left a lot of money to her pets as well.
Right, but then, you know, people could contest that and say, you know what? Granddad was off his rocker.
Right. But that's why, you know, who controls the animal?
Right. Well, you can write me down, you know. I take care of Belle, Misty, and Tyler.
No, Deanna does a little better job than me.
I'll be like, Belle, get off me. But yeah, I mean, I know you're joking, used to know, but
some people do it. They do.
Yeah.
Really.
But it's just important to have those things taken care of. Yeah. You should always have those things taken care of. Like, you know, I have my daughter's an only child, and I'm gonna leave her a significant amount of money if something happens to me, and I can justify to say, well, my daughter's grown now. I don't, because when she was younger, I had a lot more, because they say if you have young children, write the insurance policy as if you might die today. Right. And if you have children, let's say you have a child that's 10, your child still needs to finish grade school, elementary school, middle school, high school. What do they do in high school? They have prom, they have graduation, they have all these things. Then what they're going to do is go to college. And so you want to have enough insurance to see them through at least college and maybe get married, because you're not going to be there. So you want them to have those things.
If you have a daughter.
Well, I have a daughter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But even if you have a son, you want that money to take care of them as if you were there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, when they die, they don't do that. Yeah. And I've also, and we talked about this quite a bit before, but I've also talked to a lot of men, and I find this to be kind of prevalent in the Hispanic community for some reason, where they say, I don't want to leave her rich, so Sancho could come in here and be all up in my bed and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, first of all, you ain't going to be in bed.
First of all, Tay, I want you to disregard what she's now saying, because that isn't the plan, but go ahead.
Oh, hey. Okay. But, so I say, well, first of all, you're not going to be in the bed. You're going to be
in the grave.
In the grave. So why were you trying to control what's going on from the grave? And what you also need to think about is you not leaving your wife money makes her have to do a few things. That makes her have to make decisions she wouldn't ordinarily make if she had money. And that is meeting Sancho at the bar or somewhere who may not have the best intentions for her or your children. Right. So she moves Sancho into the house, and she doesn't really know Sancho, and then Sancho starts beating her, starts beating the kids, and doing all kind of other stuff that you can't imagine. Absolutely. Because you let your, what do they say in the Hispanic community, machismo?
Yeah, the machismo.
You let your male ego get in the way, and so now Sancho is under the same roof with your children and your wife, doing things to them that you cannot imagine. So don't put her in a situation to have to choose a man and struggling.
Or you got to think of it like this: if you love your wife so much, and like if you don't, I don't blame you if you don't like your kids, but your wife, your spouse. What if she, because of the situation you put her in financially, she turns to alcohol, she turns
which
to
a lot of people do, right. Or she loses the house, and the kids have to move out of the great neighborhood that you had them in, right. And have to go to a school that you wouldn't want them in, or she's out there working 2 and 3 jobs now, and so your kids are unsupervised at the home, and your daughter comes up pregnant, or your son gets somebody else pregnant, or the kids start doing drugs and stuff because you forced your wife to have to go and make up for the income that you provided. And then usually when I would say that to them, they would have a paradigm shift. Yeah. They would say, oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So why are you trying to, hold on to your manhood from the grave? Yeah. You actually are doing your family a disservice.
Right.
And so,
good point.
Holland says, can you recommend some good low-price life insurance companies? Off the top of my head, I cannot. Hit my inbox after the show, or even, not now, but after the show, to remind me, and I can think of somewhere to go or somewhere to lead you. Like I said, I don't have the ability to sell life insurance. I got out of selling life insurance because I did not enjoy the feast or famine part of it. I'm sinking in this chair. I didn't enjoy the feast or famine part of the life insurance industry because on one hand you make a lot of money, but then on the other hand you may not make some money. Now maybe that was just in part to my salesmanship, but I didn't enjoy that part of it. So but yes, remind me. And Al says some people can't wait for their loved ones to pass just so they can cash in on their insurance. And yes, that is a real true fear. A lot of people are waiting out mom. Let me try to adjust my seat, you guys. Hold on a second. They're trying to wait out mom or dad or whoever in order to get rich. And so I understand that as a real fear. Some people say, well, I'm not going to get insurance because they might kill me. Well, I think people, if you're thinking about killing somebody for life insurance, I would like to leave this on your mind. Don't. Because the first person they come after is the beneficiary. Well, did Miss Johnson have a life insurance policy? Oh, yeah, there's a life insurance policy here, okay. Well, who are her beneficiaries? Okay, her beneficiaries was her husband. Okay. And you mean to tell me she just took this policy out 6 months ago? All right.
So they increased it 6 months ago?
Mr. Johnson, we need to talk to you.
And another thing before you go to your next thing.
Oh, podcast, we'll be right back.
Yeah, but just for the people that are listening, important documents like a life insurance policy, put it someplace where people could find it. You could put it with the county assessor, make a copy with the county assessor, because 9 times out of 10, what happens is grandma died or somebody died, and you can't find the will.
Right.
Or the
life insurance, yeah. Or tell somebody you trust where the insurance policy is. Right. Like my daughter knows where my insurance policy is. you know, in case, because she's the beneficiary. If something happens to me, I don't want her to be searching high and low, and you know, my body is off in the morgue, and all that kind of stuff.
And we know Grandma has all these secret locations that nobody knows.
Right,
you know what I mean? So, you know, everything came out of that location.
My mom's grandmother had a saying about her boobs, because you know women stick money and stuff in their boobs. She said, "These are the only two suckers I trust."
No, but you know, because you see months go by and they can't find.
I know somebody who's going through that right now.
Right.
And so Tay says, I had a friend. Holly says, thanks, it's my pleasure. And Tay says, I had a friend like that. He passed and left his family with nothing, and the wife was a stay-at-home mom, and she never worked, and she struggled after he died, and she lost everything because she had to start over. Yes, that's exactly what happened. You have to start over, and you know, especially if you have a stay-at-home mom, her job is to take care of the kids. But I impress upon the women, if you're a stay-at-home mom, drag that man to the nearest insurance building in person and say, honey, I love us, you know, I love you and I love me. But what I'm going to need you to do is insure me too, because if I die, you're going to need somebody, a nanny or somebody to come here and take care of the kids so you can work. And you don't marry some old heifer who going to come in here and do stuff to my kids. And I need you to get insurance so that if you die, I can carry on in your stead and I can make rational decisions. And then Houston always says, MetLife always has good policies. Yes, they do. I, in fact, have Pacific Life for myself. No, I'm sorry, Pacific Life for my daughter and Nationwide for myself. So those are good ones to look at. I've had Pacific Life Forever for my daughter. And I apologize, my voice is starting to like go away, but I'm gonna keep talking because that's what I do. And Keith, how you doing? He says just shop around for insurance. Yeah, absolutely, shop around.
Google it.
And more than likely, insurance rates are usually around the same amount because they're all in the same market, and so they try to stay comparable or compatible, however you want to say it. But insurance is always going to depend on your health and your age and your sex for the most part. And so and your background. A lot of people don't understand that too. So as a young person, if you're out there breaking laws and you're racking up felonies and DUIs, the insurance company looks into your background and they say, okay, so all the health questions, you know, you answered, you're healthy, you've never done, you know, drugs or all that sort of stuff. However, do you have any background issues as far as criminal? Well, yeah, you know, when I was 21, I got 3 DUIs. The insurance company's like, well, you're a risk. And they rate you or they deny you because the insurance company makes money when you live, not die. And so the last thing that Mr. Insurance Company wants on their mind is, if we insure this guy, is he going to go out there and drink and drive and die 2 days after the ink dries on his policy, and then we have to pay his family $500,000.
Right. There was a case where a National Guardsman had got insurance, and you know he got on the civilian side. He wasn't thinking about it, and they didn't ask him, were you in the National Guard? He gets deployed, gets killed, and they would not pay on the policy. And
because you say because he was deployed and gets killed where?
In Afghanistan, where he was at.
You know why?
Because he's military.
In war.
Yeah, he's in war.
Yes.
And so that's why a lot of the military people are covered. But again, if you're a reservist or a guardsman, you got to take that into consideration too. But I think they have special policies for reservists and guardsmen now, because that was a big issue when you're over there and you're thinking, wait a minute, my spouse just died and he's serving the country and you won't pay on the policy. Oh, he didn't tell us he was in the
because if you die in an active war, and that goes for civilians too, which is why when George Bush during 9/11 said what? An act of war has been committed against America, and what happened?
Screwed a whole bunch of
insurance companies was like,
yes,
we're off the hook. We don't have to pay these insurance policies, and those very few words that George Bush uttered screwed over a lot of people.
Yeah, so if you're a civilian, think about joining the military. Think about that as well.
Oh,
The military does have policies for you. But I'm just saying,
right.
if you have
you'll probably be rated a little bit higher, or they have, like you said, maybe they have special policies.
But if you've been paying on a civilian policy for a long time and you got money vested, in that policy, you might want to think about the guard reserve.
Well, if you have a policy already before you join the military and it's past the 2 years contestability period, you're fine.
Okay, gotcha.
You're fine. And that goes for suicide too, not that you should kill yourself, but suicide, a lot of people think the life insurance policy will not cover suicide. It will after 2 years of the policy, because in a 2-year period, the policy is contestable, which means whatever reason you die, the insurance company can look into your history and make sure and see why you died. All right, and Keith says, good topic. Thank you. I think so too. We talk about this very often, but I think we need to keep talking about it just to drive the point home. And Allison, so actually, what actually happened to Bobby Christina could be that a reason why people are fearful. And yes, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the article that I read brought up Bobby Christina, who is the late daughter of the late Whitney Houston, and that for whatever reason her financial affairs were in disarray. Now Bobby Christina, being her next of kin, inherited the money, but she had her own issues, and so now I guess it's her mom, but then her sister-in-law and her brother and everything, just a mess. And I don't know if they, even to this day, along with Prince's estate, they're still, I don't know if they've ever settled anything.
They're still doing James Brown.
James Brown, yes. And I think Sherman Hensley,
Sherman Hensley,
his estate was the same thing.
I don't even think they buried him yet.
Well, what is he on the block of ice? It would have been 10 years since he's been there.
James Brown was on a block of ice for at least 4 years.
Take the fence, take the wheel. And Keith says, please talk about term life insurance versus regular life insurance. What is the best one? Well, we just talked about that, but I'll go ahead and say it again. Term life insurance is for a term, for a certain amount of time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. The most I've seen is about 30 years on average, could be more. But after that term ends, so does your life insurance, and you will have to qualify again for a new life insurance policy. You may be sicker, you might have had a surgery, you might have had a DUI, and so they'll take those things into accountability. Now, they do have a term policy that's convertible. Convertible meaning that it's getting ready to end and that you can switch over to another life insurance policy without having to qualify. I don't know if those are more or less, or they're probably more, but they have those in some cases. Now, regular life insurance ends when you stop paying the premium or when you die. That's the difference.
And and I'm glad you brought that paying now. In your experience as a insurance person, have you ever run across a part where they're like, okay, auntie just passed, we want the thing, and you're like, no, they didn't finish paying on it?
I have. As I was sitting at my desk as a life insurance agent, the phone rang, and it was a family member of, it was actually the son of a lady who had just passed, and he called and says, well, I'm just checking to see about my mom's life insurance policy, because my mom died, she just died. And I key in the numbers and stuff they gave me, and I say, well, unfortunately, your mom has stopped paying on her policy, and she's not insured. And then of course I get my ear hole blown out by a lot of yelling and choice words, because now they deemed that the insurance company ripped them off, stole the mom's money, and did all these things to her. But what they failed to realize is if you stop paying on the policy, then the policy dies. After 30 days, you get a 30-day grace period. But after the 30 days is over, the policy lapses, which means it ends. In a lot of cases, they'll give you an opportunity to get the insurance back, but in some cases, you will have to prove that you are healthy by taking another exam. You'll also have to pay the back pay of what you owe on the policy, and if you have any loans out, in some cases, you'll have to pay those loans off before they'll insure you again. So it's wise not to lapse your insurance, because it's a nightmare to reinstate it. And then I'll get to your comment in a second. Keith, he says, excellent girl, I just did that change. You are good. Okay, what about renter's insurance? Well, you should, and Al, get right back to your comment. You should have renter's insurance, because if you get robbed or a fire, or a water, water, from what I understand,
so
you're right, so a pipe breaks.
For your items inside the home,
Now, however, flood insurance is different. As like we live in California, there's earthquake insurance, which is stupid high.
Yeah.
So most people don't have earthquake insurance because, like, golly, I almost want an earthquake to happen so I can just get and knew everything from what I'm paying for this. And so you should have rentals insurance because something happens to your stuff, you want to get it back. Like if you're robbed. But the thing with renter's insurance is, and a lot of people don't understand this, is that you need to prove that, for one, you paid for it and the value of it. So you're going to have to produce some receipts.
Yeah.
Save your receipts, because I can easily say, oh my God,
my Van Gogh.
Yes.
On the wall.
My Mona Lisa.
Yes.
They stole my Mona Lisa.
Right.
It was the real deal, you know, and I acquired it. It was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Great. We're more than happy to pay you for that. Can you show us the certificate of authenticity or the receipt? Wow, you know.
Yeah, that lost that in the thing.
I had it.
But again, that goes back to very important things. It's like my TV there and the warranty stuff. Scan those receipts in.
Scan the
put
receipts.
it on the hard drive. Throw it up in the cloud.
Nowadays they'll email your receipts.
Right.
You know.
So
if you lose those things, or something happens to them, I sure do. Here's all my receipts. Yeah, absolutely. So rent insurance, yes.
Good question.
And then Al, let me get back to your comment. He says, ask D&D, tell the story to Donovan. I read you about the couple who had money and the man was trying to take care of his family. What should people do in that situation? So the scenario that he gave me was that a man and a woman were about to get married, and the woman was making a significant amount of money, and so was the husband. The husband actually got a better job and was making more money, and so he was wanting to take care of his mother. I think he wanted to buy her a house and stuff like that. But the fiance, because they weren't married yet, the fiance was having an issue with that and saying, well, he should consult with me before he does those things, especially if we get married. And so the end question was, should they get married? And I said, no. You should not get married to somebody who will not consider you first, because we all know that when you get married, it is, you have a union, and it's about you two come first. Everybody else is secondary and tertiary or whatever it's called. And so if you're potentially going to marry somebody who's going to put their mom or anybody else above your wishes, that is not the person for you.
Absolutely.
Don't enter into a union that is going to already cause you gray hair and strife.
Right.
Go find you somebody who's going to say, you know what?
And that's a signal right there. Boom.
Absolutely. Why would you want to marry somebody who's like, I don't care what you say, I'm buying my mama a house. But you should also be marrying somebody who would be like, it would be my pleasure for you to buy your mama a house.
Right. But wouldn't that bring for me, I can only speak for myself, if my significant other came to me and said, I want to buy my mama a house, I'm looking at her like, what has your mama been doing where she doesn't have a house already?
Well, maybe mama's been living in an apartment, and maybe she wants to buy mama a house. But to me, if my man came to me and says, we got so much money, and we got enough money, we're taking care of our stuff, I want to buy my mama a house. I'm the type of person like, what the hell are you asking me for?
Well,
buy mom's a house.
Well, no, I would agree with that. If she wants to buy her mama a house, you go right ahead and do that. But your money.
But do you really care at this point why mom don't have a house? I mean, you love your wife, and you got the money.
But it makes me wonder, if my spouse has herself together, why hasn't she got her?
Maybe mom's had some hard times. Maybe mama's husband died with no life insurance, and mom had to struggle.
Good point.
And she struggled to take care of your wife, who was not in a good position to buy her a house.
Good point. But it all goes back.
That's what a good PR is do for you.
But it also goes back to asking questions.
This chair is like quicksand.
Yeah. It also goes back to asking questions about where your finances are going.
Yes.
So.
Do you mind it when we get on our feet, I buy mom a house?
Right.
Those kinds. So I personally wouldn't marry somebody who would negate how I felt. And so you also say, Al, no, go ahead.
And let me give you people some game here. We're talking about insurance. Credit unions give you $2,000, sometimes in some credit unions $5,000 insurance just because you're a member. So don't turn that down.
Yeah, they do.
Don't turn that down. So I know sometimes you guys get that notice and you think, I don't want it, you throw it away. Seriously, that's free money.
Yeah,
in case something happens. I know it ain't a lot.
More insurance, the better.
Right, it ain't a lot, but hey, that could cover the repast.
Okay, that just that's a lot of fried chicken.
And the band.
Right. And Al says, I once read in the tabloid that Sherman Hemsley did not have a will and wanted to leave his money in a state to Marla Gibbs because she was the only person he trusted. Wow. I mean, that's amazing if it's true. And Marla Gibbs was like, well, come on with it.
Come on with it, yeah.
And Tay says, renter's insurance is worth it, and I added earthquake, and it's worth the investment. I lost everything in a flood when I was in Tampa due to storm surge, and renter's insurance with whatever optional natural disaster coverage saved my pocket. So yeah, absolutely, those things.
Right on.
They cost a little bit more, but especially if you live in a flood zone, as a lot of people did in Houston, and did not have insurance. Now I know by law here in California, if you live in a flood area, the mortgage company mandates that you get it because they don't want their house destroyed and you walk away from it and then they have to put the bill. So they require you to get flood insurance. But, you know, as they say in California, we're going to have the big one. The big one is coming. It's going to, you know, tear up your house. So yeah, you should get rid of earthquake insurance, but God.
Well, you know, the funny thing is we're talking right now about insurance. We actually are sitting on the San Jacinto fault right now.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
So it's just crazy. Do I have earthquake insurance? No.
I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys, okay? If an earthquake happens, I'm gonna have a heart attack. So I'm not. I mean, the big one happens because every time there's a little trouble, I'm like,
you're out here.
What was that?
And you know, and the funny thing is, people like, you know, my brother's back down south. They're like, oh, I can't live. You know, California, they got earthquakes.
But yeah, they got tornadoes and all
seasonal. Right. And then they said, how do you live out in California with all these earthquakes? I said, well, earthquakes are like Jesus. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You know what?
I mean, think about it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
You know,
because if it's going to happen, what can you do?
Right. And Al says, I wouldn't buy my mom a house. All she wants is cash. Give her cash, you know? Whatever. Do what you want to do with your money, Mom.
Give her that monthly payment.
Right.
And it's all good.
And then Keith says, I didn't know that about banks. Lots of fried chicken, ha. Yeah, I mean, banks a lot of times will offer you term insurance or I'm trying to think. Yeah, they yes. I used to be a personal banker, so I should know this. They do have investment bankers that will set you up with life insurance, IRAs, and just a whole host of insurance policies.
Yeah, and if you don't want the free $2,000, they'll even let you for an additional $10,000 and they'll take it out of your account automatically. So you know.
Absolutely. And then Ali says, to be honest, you two are so knowledgeable and should go into financial advisory business. Well, Donovan is a miser.
Yes.
So that's how he knows about money. I have a background in financial services, and so that's where I get it from. Plus, my whole family has been in financial services. I'm from my mom, my brother, both my brothers actually, myself, and so I know a little bit about it.
And notice that I hang around financial advisors.
You're supposed to.
Yes,
okay, you're supposed to hang around
people. And I watch and I learn.
You know, and me, I know a little bit about money because I'm a minimalist in that I don't like to spend money I don't need to at all.
Now,
not cheap. I just don't like to spend money. If I don't need two shirts of the different colors, of the same shirt of a different color. I'm cool with this shirt. And if you guys see me wearing this shirt 2 weeks from now, I'm okay with that. I don't need to have a new shirt every time you see me.
Right, and you know me. I mean, I hold on my money tight, but when I need to spend it, I'll spend it.
Yes.
You know, but it's very rare. You know, I mean, and then if I do spend it, I'm spending for the top of the line, so I don't have to worry about spending this money again in 6 years.
You're wise with your money, and Tay says they are called wealth management specialists now. Yes, that's exactly what they are. And in some cases, if you got a lot of wealth, they'll be like, come on in this back room.
Yes.
Or they have, like the wealth management specialists for people who have a lot of money, a lot of times aren't even on the bank premises. They're somewhere else. Like how dare you would have me go into a regular bank?
Yes, it's kind of like going to the casino and they have that high roller room.
Yes. Banks have high roller rooms for people with big money.
Right.
Wealth management specialists, that's exactly what they're called. So, but they also have investment bankers that will specifically invest with you. And they even have real estate bankers in the bank that will help you with buying houses and stuff. And let's see. Keith says frugal is good, and then Tay says no, they will come to you. Absolutely. As I was when I was in financial services, I will go to you. I remember once one of my biggest deals was with a woman. She happened to be in my book of clients that she had insurance with another company, but they neglected her. They didn't go out and see her. And my thing was, I didn't want to just go out there, as we would call it, shotgunning the appointment where we go in there. You need life insurance, are you gonna die? You better get the life insurance right now. I would go in there and build a rapport with her, which is you're supposed to do. And over time, I built a relationship with her. And she said, you know what, come on by. You're very persistent, but she was joking. You're very persistent. I got this $300,000 life insurance policy, or not, was it $300? She invested $300,000 into a life insurance policy that she said the insurance agent that wrote the policy stopped seeing her. She hadn't seen the dude in 3 years. She said, come on out, let me see what you got. And she invested that money with me.
Wow.
I busted a jig, and I got the card, of course. I was like, ah!
Is that when you and Deanna went down to Cabo St. Lucas?
You know what? That was right around the time. Right. But no, so but yeah, they will come to you, and you're sitting down, and I'll give you guys this advice for people who are looking for a financial advisor or insurance agent. Make sure that person is truly invested in you. I'm not talking about your money. They're interested in you. They don't come in there to say, well, I just think you need $50,000. Find out why I need $50,000. Ask me about my budget. Ask me about my spending habits. Ask me about my desires, the things I want to do. Right. Ask me about my needs before you just go and say, you need $50,000. Because when somebody says that to you, more than likely, they're thinking about the commission that they're
right. Okay, and that brings up a good point, like in elections. If you have a campaign manager that comes up to you at a local election and says, you need to come up with $100,000, that should... I can't stand that should hit bells and whistles off.
Yes, you need to ask why. Yeah. Somebody does it to you, why do I need $50,000? Right. Because they're actually supposed to start with the why first and not the product. Because you don't know me, you don't know anything about me, and here you are recommending that I need this policy or this amount. How do you know that? Are you like psychic or something?
Right.
So, and you know what, as insurance agents, if there's any insurance agents out there, a lot of people don't know that you can actually be held liable for underinsuring your clients.
Oh wow.
Yes. Okay. I might be a millionaire and I have, a lot of needs, but yet you only insured me for $5,000. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't protect me.
So how do you go about? So what happens when that does happen?
When that happens, and the state finds out you did that, you could be fined, or I'm not sure if you can get jail time, but you definitely can lose your license. Yeah. So you're held responsible and accountable for underinsuring people as well.
A very good show to watch when it comes to insurance fraud and stuff like that is American Greed.
Oh yeah, I've watched that.
I mean, it's incredible. How much wealth is in the insurance business and how people go about trying to defraud.
Life insurance is what the wealthy use. It allows you to shelter your money from taxes, and then it also allows you to have your gains on your life insurance given to you tax free, and that is what you call the IRS rule of 7702. 7702 allows it's the IRS code that allows you to keep your gains on your life insurance tax free. And so if you guys ever want to look up the IRS code 7702, it explains that to you. And that's why a lot of wealthy people, super wealthy people, they put their money in life insurance. So
is that why Donald Trump isn't showing us his taxes, because he doesn't want us to see the 7702?
He does, not that he doesn't want you to see the 702. He's probably getting some money from places he's not supposed to be getting it from.
Gotcha.
So yeah, let's see. And so Allie says you and Donovan should. Okay, I read that already. Oh wait, did I read that already? You say you and Donovan should be financial advisors together. Y'all know so much, and it would help so many people. Well,
we just put the information out.
We just put the information out there. And Allie also say it's because it's raining so much here in Houston, and Hurricane Harvey hit last year. A lot of people were out of luck because they didn't have flood insurance.
Wow. And
I bet you to this day, Al, that you can drive down a lot of those neighborhoods and still see the dilapidated housing.
Right. And the parts of the wall that's thrown out right in the front yard.
Right. You can still see that the houses are gutted because those people didn't have flood insurance. They just, like, to me, if you live in what you consider, like, they say Louisiana is like a bowl, and I would imagine Texas, Texas is like 6 to 4, 4 feet under below sea level.
Yeah, Houston especially.
Yeah, because they're closer to Louisiana. So you guys are pretty much 4 to 6 feet below sea level. Louisiana's 10 to where I heard they have to bury people above ground.
Yeah, they have the tombs above.
Yeah, above ground. And so if you know you live in a bowl where with the floods the water's just going to sit there and tear your house up, why wouldn't you have flood insurance?
Because it's cheaper not to tell people.
Because I don't believe fat meat is greasy.
Right.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out.
I just want greedy people to buy this home. Okay, I'll give you a better example. Here in California, they built these homes in Myra Loma. And Myra Loma was our big cow. Remember the dairy used to be there.
Do you know what else is over there in Myra Loma?
What else?
Not that it's famous, but the infamous chicken coop murders.
Oh yeah. There was a movie.
Changeling. Changeling was based off of Myra Loma. They actually changed the name to Myra Loma from Changeling. Right. Or Wineville actually. Wineville because of the murders.
Right. But they went and they moved all the dairy off of there. Now this is a dairy that was standing there for almost 80 years, almost 100 years. So you're talking about, manure that's in the soil, just in there. These people got rid of the dairy, redeveloped it into a housing project. Now these houses are 500,000 to 700,000,
more,
if not more. And nobody told the buyers that this was a dairy area, right? Stink. Yes. And these people got stuck with these homes.
Matter of fact, my very, very good friend is in the housing market, and she's looking over there. But she said she really had no idea about this. So she said when she drove over there, she's like, "Did a sewer bust?"
Right.
And she learned that that's how it smells over there. And to your point,
especially after it rains.
Yes. And so those houses are to the tune of 600,000 and up into the millions, but when they open their window, even if they're probably just used to it now.
Yeah,
but it stinks like cow
dung. It's just really bad.
That's the aroma that's over there.
But my point is, why you got to ask questions and look out for yourself.
But my thing is, if you going over there to buy a house, you don't smell the doo doo.
Well, on a hot day, you probably won't smell it. But like when it's a rainy day, you definitely smell it. And here's the thing about the people back east and stuff. One thing I hate about California. Back east, once you pay your property tax, you own the land and the house. Okay. Here in California, you'll never own the land.
You'll never own the land, okay? So property taxes are due.
You will never. So I always tell people, you do not want to come to California, and unless you're that rich, but you will never own the land.
Don't come to California. It's not what it used to be.
And there's too many shysters running around.
And
not telling you
everything costs an arm and a leg. Like this air that I just inhaled, that's probably going to cost me.
Yeah, it's going to cost you that. And
everything costs.
Yeah.
I was taking my daughter, dropping her off to go back to school last night, and 11 o'clock at night, there's freaking traffic.
Really?
Traffic!
Did you take the road?
Yeah, I drove on the 91 freeway.
Oh, wow.
And there's traffic. I mean, all I saw was just red, the tail lights, just
on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night at 11 o'clock. Wow. There's traffic.
Don't come here, people. Please.
Don't come here. Yeah. We're probably on our way out here, okay? And
Al said, well, we know you're going to Houston.
Right, eventually. I'm going to be in the flood zone in Houston. And Al, that doesn't mean for you to make a joke out of what I just said, because I know where you're going to go with that. Don't you dare. And Al says, ask D&D, how should a man who is on child support do his money with the mother? Lord.
I'm going to give you that because I've seen it 100 times.
Go ahead,
I've experienced it. Anything you do in regards to your child should go through the court system. If you're in the court system.
One more time for the people in the back.
Go through the court system. Anything you do.
Break it
birthdays. I don't care what it is. She asks you for $20 for gas. Go through the court system.
Why?
You have a receipt of it. It is not a gift. It's all supposed to go towards the child, and there's a record of it.
Well, okay. That's a good question, Al. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm the daddy, okay? And you're just whoever, my friend or the child support people, whatever.
I'm the child support people.
Well, Bakisha wants me to give her $200 because the kids need a new computer. I'm just going to go on and give her the money.
Okay, you know what? You're within your right to do that. But when you do that, as far as the court's concerned, that is a gift.
But you know what? Nah, but see, she ain't gonna do me like that. If it ever came down to it, she gonna tell the peoples that I gave her $200.
If it doesn't go through our court system, it is a gift.
Wow.
And we will not credit you for any monies outside of our system.
Hey, but you know what though? That scenario right there, I personally had this conversation with people. In fact, I just spoke to someone who is in quite a bit of arrears. Now his child support situation is very unique in that he kind of got duped into some making the arrangements with his ex in order, because he was trying to achieve something. So he signed off on it when he was making that kind of money, and then 2008 happened.
Yeah, things happen.
And so he has like $300,000 in child support arrears. But so his child wanted a $1,000 computer for her birthday, and so he got wise and said, okay, I'm going to give you this computer, but I'm going to funnel that money through the child support system. Sent the ex a text and said, I just gave child support an extra $1,000, so when they give it to you, buy her the computer. Crickets on the side of the mom. Crickets. What money? That money was, so he's in a dilemma now, like now I got to figure out how to get my child a computer. I said, no, you already did that.
Yeah, you already did.
That's the mama's job. Well, you know, I want my child to have a computer. And the child support, so he told the child support people what happened. It says, do not give her the
outside
money.
Of
send it to us, because you will not get credit for that. And so, men, I don't know, I'm not talking to none of y'all. I know it's probably easier just to slide Keisha some money.
All that money, trust me, you want as much credit as you can get.
Especially if you have arrears. Don't every dime counts. Don't you want to be out of the man's hair?
And then you gotta look at, okay, you're in the rears, okay, and the court's gonna get to a point where you will never catch up, right? You're in the rears. But if you can show that, yeah, I sent money for this, I did money for that, the judge is gonna look at that, and they might even just wipe your
and there's interest on the arrears.
Right, exactly. But they might get rid of that interest based on the stuff that you're doing through the, you know, if you're regular and stuff like that, you can go in there and say, hey, I can't pay this interest, there's no way I'm going to catch up, and they might waive that interest.
Yeah, they'll work with you,
yeah.
But if you got to deal with an asset, do his baby mother, if he wins the lotto, so does he give his, I think you're asking, do you give his baby mama money if he wins the lotto?
He has no choice if he's in the system.
Yeah, if you're in the system, the lotto will give it to him for you, okay?
Yeah, the tax system is going to...
But yeah, if you win the lotto,
grab him.
You know, say, okay, Bakeisha, I won several millions of dollars.
And we'll go to court and let the judge make sure.
Or how about here? What'd you get out of my hair for $10 million?
Don't give her... Okay.
However you give it to her.
Yeah, here's the thing.
What'd you get out of my hair for that?
One of the first things they're going to do is if you're in arrears and child support here in California, the lotto system and the child support system is connected. So
you better believe it.
So they're going to take that money off the top.
Right.
Done. Now, if they're taking that money off the top and you're caught up, why would you want to give her $10 million?
Well, don't come out as a winner until you get known with her first.
Right, and that way you see how much is.
But yeah, I just think if you win in the lotto, shouldn't matter how much you give the baby mama some doggone money.
Well, yeah, in the end, you know.
And take me out the system.
Right, exactly.
Right, and so you also say, so I bought my girls' school shoes and supplies. Should I have given that money to the court?
Yes.
Can you say that again for people in the
Yes, because you will not be credited for that. All that adds up. So.
Well, what about if they're not in arrears?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because what happens if you do come up in the arrears? Anything, you can lose your job. Anything can happen. You know, and it's unfortunate that two grown adults can't work things out among themselves. So now you got the court involved. Now, once the court's involved, go through the court.
Go through the court.
Any kind of money, payments, whatever, and that's her problem. You have a man.
Or she could very easily take you out the system and let you give her the money directly.
Exactly.
Well, that's too much like right though.
It is, but you know, and I understand where guys come in. You know, I need it right now. Unfortunately, we're not in that system.
And you want to do something,
right? We're not in that system.
Woo, better be happy I ain't no man.
Yeah.
I feel like you want this money, then you take me up out the system.
We are not in that. Once they put you in that system, you need to work in that system. Okay, so
render on the who?
Right.
Caesar.
His
What
tithes.
is Caesar?
Right, exactly. So because what's going to happen is all that stuff that you did. Do you think she's going to remember that when that day comes?
And you know what? By law, she's supposed to tell child support
Right.
she got that money. You think Bakisha gonna be like, yes? We went school shopping. He spent $500, and yes, when I told him I needed some gas money, yeah, he gave me that too. She gonna be like, I don't know what he talking about.
And think about this. Okay, you're like a lot of good fathers out there and non-custodial parents out there. You're a good guy. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. Why is it that when you ask for a receipt for all the money you just gave her, she ain't got the receipt?
What you talking about, Willis?
Right.
And Tay says, right. And Tay says, I know women that owe back child support on 2 kids that she doesn't raise, and they came after her bank account because she's behind and she's closed her accounts, but she and her new husband just bought new cars.
Yep.
Well, she's a trifling so she really is. I mean, take care of your doggone kids. Why you got, like, I just don't understand.
All I'm saying is, and I tell this to anybody that wants my advice, I had one child that I was in the system. I had one child that I was not in the system, and I'm telling you,
different mamas,
and
different mentalities.
Different mentalities, but I'm telling you, it was so much better to work with somebody outside of that system. But once I was in that system,
you were mad as a mother.
No, I wasn't mad. No. Okay. My oldest son is 26. September 3rd, he'll be 26. Do you realize the mother that I was in the system with is still trying to sue me for all kinds of stuff? And the court keep telling her, ma'am, we're done.
She's like, this fool was paying me good
money.
Exactly. I know there's more where that came from.
Exactly. And the only thing that's protecting me is because I stayed within the system. That's it.
Well, I guess it worked to your advantage to some degree. And but I tell you, says, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into that. And Al says, if I hit the lotto, do I stay on child support because if they drop it, she can't refile or not?
No, they can always refile for child support.
But
always.
what idiot in her right or wrong mind will fight with you?
Yeah.
I mean, sis, I'm finna give you a lot of money. Why do you need the man to delegate that, or you just a total idiot?
Yeah. There's nothing stopping them from going back into the child support system at any time. That's the way the law is concerned. True.
And then Katie says, I work my child support out by making sure it comes straight from DFAS.
Yes.
What's that?
That's
Department of
the Defense Financing and Accounting Services.
Okay.
That's where we get our pay.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, in some cases, you just have to do what you gotta do, right? I mean, I'm not against child support by the man, but I feel like if you can work it out with the significant other or the ex-significant other, do that.
And be realistic. If you got this guy and
I want you to give me $2,000 a month.
Well, it's not that. You know,
and I'm making $2,500 a month.
Right. Well, you know, you're dealing with this guy that you know that he's a street thug. He ain't working. I mean, come on. I mean, you know.
All of a sudden, you want him to be upset. Yeah. You want him to materialize a job now.
In California, the child support system here, you have no job, 0 job. You've never worked in your life. Do you know the minimum that the court has to mandate on you is $550?
I just read part of Houston Notes. Listen to this. He says, you win the lotto, you get your oldest child to cash it, get fired from your job, get a part-time job at Burger King, file a motion to lower your child support, and live the only, what's that, and live the can only go after, they can only go after reported income.
Right. Which is true, but if they can show that you have this money.
And then the older child like, shoot, me and my mama rich.
Right. But you know that's the sad thing. No job here. California doesn't care what your situation is. You could be homeless. You're going to pay $550 as a minimum. That's a mandated minimum.
Really?
Yes.
Child support?
You not having a job is not an excuse.
Yeah, because I know some judges would be like, all right, you don't have no job, and you said that the last 2 times I was up in here. What do you do?
And this is your 3rd child you're dealing with.
Well, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a cook. Okay, they'll go in and see what the average cooks make. Well, on average, cooks make $18 an hour. So that,
I don't know how to help with that.
Oh, that scared me. I must have said something that triggered your Google Home. I was like, somebody's in the house with us. I was like, listen.
How's that?
Look, the hairs on my arms are standing up. Scared me. I don't like this new technology stuff.
Right.
But anyway.
But you're looking at $550, no job.
Yeah, so the judge will enter it in. I literally almost had a heart attack right now, for real.
Okay, gotcha.
And so Al, I guess this is your joke, says my stepdad went on a dinner date with his baby mama and spent $200. She told him at the end of the night she couldn't do anything because her special friend was in town. He told her to tell your friend, give my damn money back. So anyway, how much time we got?
We got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes, y'all. So y'all have anything else y'all want to add to the discussion? I will read the comments. And then Al says the only time I had a spat with my baby mom was during All-Star Weekend. Y'all know when she tried to dupe him for. She said she had a bill to pay, but she was really trying to get a pantsuit so she could go to All-Star. No, out here All-Star Weekend out story, because I don't think Al wants us to tell the whole story, but it was quite humiliating to say the least.
But all I'm saying is, guys, once you're in that system, stay in that system. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Because anything else is going to be considered a gift.
We were talking about life insurance, child support, Aretha Franklin. We were talking about it all.
And let me cut you off. And get some insurance. I mean, I know we're talking about it, everybody's laughing, we're joking and stuff, but it's a serious situation here. I don't understand how you have money for cigarettes, you have money for beer, you have money for nails.
Because what? People buy
what they want
and beg for what they need.
And I'm telling you, there's no excuse why grandma has to be buried with a GoFundMe account.
Right. That is not life insurance. Yeah. GoFundMe is not life insurance. I did a study, and the title of it was how many car washes does it take to have a funeral? The answer is nobody ever knows.
Nobody knows.
I mean, it's possible to be out there one weekend washing cars, or some person who has pity on your situation saying, how much is the funeral?
Right.
Oh, 20,000?
Here you go.
Oh, here. That could happen.
Right.
But on the other hand, you could be out there for weekends and weekends and weekends washing cars at $1, $5 here and there, and gosh, it's just.
And another thing I'm going to say is, teach your children about finances. Do they really need the Jordans? Do they really need the name brand stuff? You know what I mean? Savings and what we talk about all the time. Group economics. Start thinking about that.
Right.
That will really help a lot of your situation.
Teach them young about money. And then Teresa, you said, yeah, I buried my newborn for $6,500. And that we are sorry to hear that. But even a newborn, that's a lot of money. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I just have a cremation. Even cremations cost. You got to. And I learned this. I mean, I knew selling life insurance, but when I had to bury my mom, I really got an in-depth look into what it takes. Moving her body from the house, they wanted $350.
Right.
Moving her body from the morgue to what do you call it? The funeral home. Another $350. Moving her body from the funeral home to the church. $350. Moving her body from the church to the cemetery, $350. And that she wasn't even in the ground yet. It's like,
it adds up.
Well, can we just take her ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just put her in the.
But people don't think, they don't know that kind of stuff.
It adds up.
They don't know that, and so.
And these are people in the very community that the undertaker you've known for years. He's got to make a living too.
And be careful of those life insurance shady individuals, because they prey upon black people in the black community. They'll go and will underinsure you. I sat down with a lot of grandmas who had a $5,000 policy from 1973. Well, back then, $5,000 would bury somebody. But that life insurance agent back then didn't account for inflation and all of that, and so she found herself having to get more insurance, and that's just to bury her. That's not, because back then she's thinking, well, shoot, $5,000, shoot, I'm leaving the grandkids something and all that. For those of you guys on the podcast, if I don't bid you farewell, I will hear from you guys next week. Please follow the channel, Denitra K on YouTube, to see the video live, and you'll also see Donovan. So watch out for those life insurance salespeople who just want to sell you something. Be careful of them, and then Let's see. Al says, I wonder if Aretha Franklin and Natalie Cole had insurance on that pink Cadillac full of food. And Tracy says, car washes and church plates won't even pay for a baby. No, they won't. I mean, that's a lot of work. Instead of paying, on a newborn baby, you can get a newborn baby insured at 10 days old for the rest of their life, and that premium will stay the same.
Yes.
So what we're talking, $10, $15 for the rest of their life. Hell, we're gonna go out to eat one day, and my plate alone gonna be $15.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't do that in a month, something's wrong with you. And then Ali says when, I'm not sure what that means. And Tracy says then they charge you, daily storage if they die at the hospital, and you don't have the money to move from the hospital to the mortuary. So that's just exactly what I said. I should have read that comment first. And says, hell, I got a van, I'll transport grandma. You know what? Why you being funny?
We start doing that.
But most people, you can't though, because by law you got to have a license, a mortuary license to handle dead bodies. And so when you hear that, you're like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Every
time I move, Mom, I gotta pay you? Well, yes, Miss Coulter. Yes, it's I know. That's it sounds like a lot, but that's the way it is. They try to talk to you in this very somber tone, but what they're really doing is
it's not us, it's the state.
Because they know most people got life insurance policies. They're like, shit, we're gonna get a lot of that money. And then Ali says, when my stepdad passed, his kids were very distraught at the funeral. Come to find out, they didn't care. All they wanted to make sure that the insurance check cleared on Monday. You know what? But why you joking? Yeah, you want to make sure. Well, like most insurance, funeral homes, they'll take you at face value on the insurance policy. So they'll call and make sure it's valid before they do everything. But so anyway, we are out of time here. Thank you guys for the discussion. As always, it is our pleasure to do this. Thank you for input, and those of you on YouTube, we'll see if you have any questions or comments, please do so in the comment section.
Yeah, I saw some ugly comments from some people on the YouTube thing from the last week.
You did, huh?
I was like, yikes.
Yeah, and make sure you direct your comments to Donovan, not me, okay? And please subscribe to the Demetra K channel. And Donovan also has a channel, News from the Edgemont, and the Donovan Speak channel, where he does various stories and stuff. So, Al is a fool. Please ignore him. But anyway, so we're going to get out of here. Donovan, and right now in the process, as we speak, I'm having his house renovated.
Yes.
Somebody's out there. So I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your Sunday evening. I'm going to eat because I haven't eaten nothing all day.
God, really?
Nothing. So I will see you guys next week. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything you want us to talk about, hit our inboxes and we will do the work and we will bring it here to you. Al, when I get off here, I'm gonna. All right, see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.